Hey Jonesy Babes and Anonymous Jonesy Babes, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to give you an update about Perez Hilton and Blake Lively. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Blake Lively has withdrawn her Perez Hilton subpoena in her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Court documents show that Blake Lively submitted her request on Friday, shortly after Perez Hilton, who had been representing himself in the matter, retained the ACLU of Nevada to represent him. In response to the decision, Perez Hilton said, "I am certain with every fiber of my being that if the ACLU of Nevada had not agreed to represent me, and had they not called her lawyers yesterday to inform them of that, Blake would absolutely still be pursuing the subpoena. They withdrew today after yesterday's call." Reps for Lively's team did not immediately respond to the news outlet request for comment. Okay, so it seems like that's a win for Perez Hilton. Nobody told me to write anything negative about her. Nobody paid me to write anything negative about her. Nobody gave me talking points, etc., etc., etc. Perez Hilton told the news outlet last month ahead of his first hearing, saying he was feeling exhaustion, relief, cautious optimism, and tempered confidence leading up to his day in court. It really feels like a case of a real-life David versus Goliath. David being Justin Baldoni, and in this instance, me, and Goliath being Blake Lively and her A-list, very powerful, very famous, very rich husband, Ryan Reynolds, using their power and money to retaliate against Justin Baldoni and retaliate against me. He noted that he is not being sued and claimed he did nothing wrong, calling the subpoena burdensome, too broad, and threatening to his journalistic sources and work product, as well as his privileged and protected information. After he filed the motion to quash, Lively filed a cross motion to compel, arguing that Hilton does not hold himself out as operating as an independent journalist, nor does he purport to follow any of the tenets of independent journalism. However, according to Hilton, that's wrong because digital journalists are entitled to the same protections and privileges as traditional journalists. He said, "I believe that this is a misrepresentation of the law, and that's what I will argue in court." Of the negative content he shared about Blake Lively, Hilton said, "I didn't need any talking points. I didn't need anyone to help me form my opinion. She doesn't want to believe that it was organic, but it was. And that inability to accept maybe people are not liking me because of the things I've said or because of what I've filed in the courts. That inability is what has led us to this point now." As for Baldoni, he has denied Lively's allegations. He countersued her and Reynolds for defamation and extortion, but his lawsuit was tossed out over what Hilton described as technicalities. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are expected to testify when her case is tried in March of 2026. But there you have it. Perez Hilton, this is a win for him, okay? This was a win. To me, this whole thing was just ridiculous. She didn't have to do this. I look at it like bullying, you know what I'm saying? Because she didn't have to do any of this. But he stood his ground, okay? And he continued on. He showed up for the hearings when he was supposed to show up. It did not work out in her favor, all right? He hired the ACLU to represent him, and that was it. She withdrew her subpoena. But anyway, congratulations, Perez Hilton. I know you're happy. This is like a major weight off for you. So now all we have to do is just wait for the trial between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And let me tell you something. I plan on covering that, but I got to find out when Luigi's case is going to happen, because I don't want to be bouncing around like a crazy person. So I'll get back to you on that. But I am very interested in Blake and Justin's trial. Okay? So with that being said, that's all I have for now. And I think that's going to be it between Perez and Blake. You guys have a great one, and I'll talk to you later.